Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for connecting. And those of you who are new here, my name is Belinda and I'm a neuroenergetic kinesiologist as well as a yoga teacher. And I help people with their manifesting goals to create a life of abundance, of magic, and of basically just being able to pull in whatever it is that you desire, but do so with grace and ease and connectivity. Now, the reason for this little video today was that I wanted to share something that was more personal for me and to give you just a hint and a tip of why it's so critical for you to just be patient when your manifestation is sitting in what I call the space in between, or the gap. And you might be wondering, what on earth is she talking about? Well, often we give up prematurely when we're wanting to manifest something. I know I've done that many times. Other times we lack the patience and perhaps the consistency in the processes that we're using, or the simplicity of the processes that we're using, that we cave in well before the actual manifestation magic occurs. And this could be one of your main downfalls. But there's one key point that I'll talk about, and it's the space in between. So you have this desire, you have something that's really soul connected to your heart. You've been maybe even having things come into your dream space, or during the day where you're thinking, I would really love to either have, do, or achieve that particular thing and that goal, that manifesting goal. However, the time between the wanting and desiring of it and it actually showing up in a physical form, there can be sometimes a delay. And there's a few different things that are going on in that delay that can either slow it down or speed it up. Now, if you're anything like me, I believe that we can have what we want. And for me, why would I wait, eons to actually have it when I know that it's at my fingertips? I know that it's an unlimited resource, that being the universe, and that the more connected we are to our true self, the more easily things can align to us. And really, alignment is about being the best possible version of you, releasing stagnant, blocked emotions or lower vibrational emotions that are holding you back, being in a state of happiness and joy and connection and so forth more often, as well as being really super grateful for the things that you already have now. So that's just sort of the basis behind manifestation. Now, where people get caught up is that they sort of think, and I've done videos about this too, where you've got to do all these things and you've got to practice it over and over again. And manifesting can seem like this out of reach type of goal that works for some and not for others. But what I'm about to share with you is that if you can understand this one little aspect, then you will start to notice that by default alone, your things can turn up more easily, more quickly, and also without a doubt, in a way that might be even unexpected. Now, in the gap, or the space in between, when you've had this desire to want something and it actually showing up, that space there is the critical part. Because if you are in, let's just say, for example, you're in fear of it not showing up. So it could be, in the situation where you've been really wanting a soul-connected partner, and you thought you've been doing all these things and the partner just doesn't show up. Well, that's more than likely because there is a fear or a resistance or some kind of sabotage that might be playing behind the scenes, playing into that manifestation, coming into its purest form, which is where the magic happens and the partner turns up. Likewise, if you're wanting to create more abundance in your business, more flow, maybe more clients, or better paid clients, for example, but that's not really, it's stop start, or it's really not happening for you. Once again, it can be because you have some kind of level of fear underneath, or you're worrying, or you're anxious, or you start to doubt yourself, or you go into a place of even uncertainty or undeservability. But the big one is the doubt piece, and also the delay. Why hasn't it shown up? And we start to question what it is that we are connecting to and what it is that we truly want. And maybe that is then when we give up, and evidently our energy is thrown off kilter and we go out of alignment. Now, sometimes I will talk into these videos around the energy centers or the chakras, and they are really an important part because it actually is a reflection of your psychology. So if you've got energy centers that are like overdoing it, which is like an over energy, or on the flip side, a deficient type of energy, so there's not enough coming through, then you can understand why manifestation would actually be quite a challenge. And that psychology is all in relation to the emotions that you feel daily and the thoughts that have actually created those emotions and those feelings. Now, always remember that thoughts, which are electrical, become things. And in between that are your emotions, which are the magnetic part. So if you're full of worry and concern that something's not going to show up, or you're fearful, doubtful, or you start to second guess yourself, then lo and behold, it's going to put you into a deficient state. If it's worry and concern, of course, that can be like an excess, that's an obsession. And so when we're in obsessive thoughts, then essentially it's like we're pushing that very thing that we want away from us rather than allowing it to be magnetically drawn to us. So everything is about your energy and your vibration. And if you were just to focus wholly and solely, rather than once you've set your manifestation goal, rather than focusing intently on that, and you were just focusing on feeling good every single day, of getting yourself into the feeling of already having it, of what it is you're already grateful for, these things alone is what actually naturally brings things to you. Now, the example I wanted to give you on a personal note, because I've been known to be sometimes impatient, and that could be part of my heritage in my DNA and my energetic blueprint. Thanks, Mum and Dad. Where I have sometimes sabotaged my own success, or I've sabotaged relationships, or I've, sabotaged things becoming easier for me, and I've made it difficult for myself. And I've actually watched myself do this and play those roles. And it's through my work as a kinesiologist that I'm able to actually tap into that and tune into that and redirect myself and reorientate once the awareness is there. Now, you may not have necessarily the tools that I have, but what you do have is the natural ability to know what it is that you're drawn to. And also you have the ability to be empowered enough to choose how you want to feel, to choose what you're actually thinking on a daily basis, choose what you're actually focusing on and what you're putting your attention to. So all that being said, for example, getting this property that I'm in now, this beautiful house, home for myself and my children, there was a 6-month period where I was manifesting this beautiful place and wondering why it hadn't actually shown up yet. And part of that was because there was a level of impatience that I was feeling around the delay. And in doing that, it took probably longer for me to actually have the manifestation come into physical form. But when I learned that if I was just to sit back and just to be totally okay and fully trusting in the universe, in bringing to me the energetic form that I had been visualizing, then lo and behold, within moments, I kid you not, within moments, within a day or so, the manifestation come through, and I was obviously able to come and move into this beautiful house that I'm in now. Another example is, when you take your eye off the prize, so to speak, you might still be having thoughts about it, but when you stop focusing on it so much so that you forget all this other stuff over here of actually just feeling good and carrying about your day and putting yourself into a high vibration by doing the things that you really love, that light you up, by default alone, often our manifestations just turn up. And this very thing happened to me in the case of a relationship where I was really wanting to connect with my twin flame and a really soul connected partner. And I'd written down all the stuff of what I wanted, in a partner, and all the values and all the things that were really important to me. And then I had actually attended a small ceremony, and once I had taken the pressure off myself of this particular, it coming in a particular form, then lo and behold, a beautiful relationship actually transpired within only a couple of days. And it was because I stopped worrying about it. I just was actually having fun. I was doing the things that I love to do. I was going and doing ceremonies and going to dance classes and all sorts of really cool things, connecting with other, high vibing females or mixture of people in community. And by default alone, great things just started to flow in. And then once you accept that and you're in that receiving mode, you tend to find that more of the same just keeps showing up. It's like turning on a tap, and having that flow state, and then all of a sudden it's like giving the universe the go ahead, the green light that you are ready, willing and able to accept more. The same can be said about the reverse. So if you're focusing on the negative things and you're really stuck in those lower vibrational emotions, and lo and behold, and things going wrong, often you will notice that there will be a flow-on effect from that too. So it's really being, that old saying of be careful what you wish for is really, really true. Just to be aware of that, not to get obsessed with that either, but just know that you can always reorientate yourself, and you can always follow the path of least resistance, because that is the true path of the spiritual warrior and the soul within you that actually really just wants to navigate the easiest path forwards rather than making it difficult, which is where our human mind can sometimes jump into the driver's seat and try to take over. So I'd love to know, I'd love for you to share, what are the things that you do to get you into a higher vibrational state? I've given you a couple of examples, but some of the other ones is I listen to, really beautiful connected music that makes me feel a certain way. So, when I want to get into a high vibe, then I'll put on some dance music and, have a little bit of a dance with the kids. I do go into nature a lot. I find that really does change my vibration. It really moves and shifts anything that is lingering, any residue that's in my container, in my etheric body, so to speak, or the auric field, and it cleanses that out. Connecting with nature is one of the purest forms of connecting with your manifestation goals as well, because it just naturally puts you in a good space. And there's countless others, eating really beautiful clean food that makes you feel good, having beautiful friendships and connections, and those awe-inspiring conversations can put you in better vibe. But I'm talking more about the self-care that you can do on your own, that really aids your manifesting. So this has become a little bit longer than what I thought, so I'll leave it at that. But I would love to know in the comments below, what are some things, even just an example of what you do? Or have you experienced the gap where you have really focused too heavily on waiting for this thing to show up and it not showing up, and worrying and concerning yourself with it, and noticing that when you do actually take the pressure, try it, take the pressure off yourself, stop actually focusing on the outcome, except for focusing on it from the level of what the emotion is that's connected to the desired result and the desired outcome, if that makes sense, which I hope it does. And if you're interested in working with me in terms of, you're struggling with actually aligning and attracting what it is that you truly want, that that your energy is just not where it needs to be, that you are really looking at being able to pinpoint what that old trauma is that's actually holding you back, where perhaps you haven't dealt with things from earlier on in your childhood, perhaps that's carrying over into patterns. This is what my passion is, in being able to help people and guide people to living their best life. And thus why, being a soul and manifestation coach, I'm able to do that, but also through reading the bioresonance or the biofeedback in your body. So it gives me the answers to help you and to guide you forward. So if that's something that's of interest for you, I have it all spelt out on my website. If you're keen to find out more, that's on livingbalancekinesiology.com.au. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, and let's create some magic together. Namaste. Until next time.